Well, this morning Dad and I tried hay, and I brought the other cutter over east, and just got rained out now at 4:16. And Dad got a little bit of baling done, and he's now home as well, the tractor there. And we got our 8430 blew a front tire, so we're gonna go in the process of putting that on. Didn't even snap. That's not satisfying. Oh, I don't even know where it's at. It's on the other side, potentially. Yeah, the bad spot's on the other side. So anyway, that one's junk. And we had two spares. We put one on the other side 2 years ago, I believe. And we should have just switched them out at the same time. But now they're both changed. Dad took off in the 84 already. So let's get back up to the yard here. Luckily, that's home right there. So we just had to drive down the highway a little bit here. No big deal. His dad had went to go grab that bale because it had no net wrap, and he figured, well, might as well bring it home. The 4430, the batteries are down that one. Better now than out in the wide open country. And it's sprinkling again, so that's awesome. We'll get to the yard here and offload all the blocks and jack that we had brought. Dad is going to go grab some chemical from the neighbor. I think he wants to go spray some pastures with the four-wheeler sprayer. And I am going to go check the fence voltage on a couple other pastures. Kind of got a spread. I think what, I don't know, 10, 11 miles that way. How far is Harlow? How far is Harlow from here?
13.
Good 13. Plus another probably 4. So 17 miles that way. 11 to 12 miles that way. And only just 3 miles south of that pasture. That one always gets checked first. Ugh.
Let me call you back here a little bit.
No, you're good. I'm gonna take off. So now we'll just turn this tire into a feeder. Dad was just talking about making a step the other day for on tractors, that on newer John Deere tractors, well, newer than a 4430, I should say. They have that bottom step. They got 2 rubber pieces, so if you were to go in the mud, you don't rip the metal off on that bottom step. It's able to give. This rubber's so shot anyway.
It might work back over in here.
Oh, well.
It's just old age.
Ugh.
I can't even remember how old that is.
90s?
It's when I first bought the 8430. Is when it was.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, when was that? Probably in, let's say, probably 89, 1990 is what this tire is.
Well, good morning. I got the swather all serviced up. Went and checked all the belts. There's 2 or 3. 2 drums on each side that are belt driven, and previously, well, looks like that's mud there, so that's cool. Actually, should try to get a screwdriver in that real quick. So I had just a little bit of mud on this pulley here. I thought the groove was deeper, but it's not. Must have been just a little bit spurting up, because yesterday, you can't really tell, I was playing in the mud yesterday, cutting this piece, and I got the blades flipped so they're ready to roll, especially because I'm going to be doing a pasture here. I got it halfway opened up yesterday before I got rained out, but nice, really thick pasture grass, and it's kind of shorter, and cutting that, you need your blades as sharp as can be. And compared to just regular brome or the clover, they don't really, that really doesn't matter if you have dull blades or not. I cleaned off my back radiator. That was full of foxtail. As you can see, there's foxtail all over. And yeah, we're ready to roll. So I'm gonna let her warm up a little bit here, and we'll get to cutting. I finished pasture kind of behind this place. I noticed my blades were getting a little dull, but I didn't want to change them because there's a lot of gopher mounts back there. But this piece doesn't hardly have any gopher mounts, so I thought I could maybe get away with continue running my same blades, but it's time to change them. So let's get after it. I'm just blown away. I didn't reckon, like, the GoPro itself is fine, but the case for, or not the case, but the protector, like adapter for it, because it gives me another mic so that it blocks out the wind, and you can add other accessories to it. This thing's junk. This is $80, and this is just a cheap Amazon stick for like 20 bucks, so I don't have to keep buying batteries. I can just have this as power and keep hooking up to my, I think I can get like 5 GoPro charges out of it. Well, that took some power. This is all metal. Anywho, we are going to go home, grab some fuel, and I'll bring you back. Dad claims this is full of fuel. Oh yeah, she does have fuel in her. I went on the trailer, that one's empty. Because I had topped the swather off before I came home. And that newer swather, that disc-spine swather, it's got a 6-cylinder rather than a 4-cylinder. And that one will go through 2 tanks to 1 compared to the old swather. So if you take a look at this ditch here, and I had hit this before 2 inches of rain, and all those windrows ended up on that side of the highway in the pasture there. Wet grass was kind of hanging up around my back drums. Now look how muddy they are. Oh gosh, she's dirty. Look at even the rollers. Usually they're clean. All sorts of wet. And this stuff here. The newer headers have a roller on the bottom here that helps feed immensely. Helps feed the hay way better, the conditioner, so it's in the back here feeding an auger. Because when you get into thicker crops or a little bit tougher stuff, these 2 drums, well technically 3 because this one's on, and so these 3 just aren't quite enough to get that hay over in time, and these 2 are just belt driven on top, and so those belts like to slip every once in a while. Not too often, but that field I just came from, that's the only field I know for sure I'd put money on them causing me trouble. Oh, anyway, this side looked good, smelled good. Last year, I wasn't too used to operating this machine yet, and I ended up plugging those 2 drums on the other side. I could tell I smoked the belt by the way there was smoke coming off the header. Damnedest thing. So anyway, I tried to keep a closer eye on that, but everything looked well. Let's go home and see what Dad's up to. Yeah, I don't know, she's kind of acting funny out. It turns out Dad already called her a day. Must have got tough. It was already questionable what he was bailing today, he said. Because some of the windrows are still in water. So that's cool. But, appreciate you guys watching. Gonna cook up some steaks. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.